angisho ngibuya elokishini and in my head yeah ngizwa like a million. So I take my brother sahamba saya garage. No, I want a car. Ne, it's like no, I'm just a shopper for a car. Maybe I might get your car. And we get into this garage in Kulu, and I look at cars there, and literally those cars were equivalent to my bank balance. I went in there as, hi, I'm WABADIMO with a millionaire, to, I will come back some other time.
Sicela ukubonga Thixo. Abanye siyabahalisela, they are not allowed ukuyiphuza. Mnandi le cold drink ngishaye iCPS2 sihalisele laba abangavunyelwanga futhi ukuthi bayiphuze. And then I go to the back. Actually, this is very important. Let me go to the back and read it. Ne, guys. Best served chilled, store in a cool, dry place, product of South Africa. But the most important place says usage. This is a disclaimer, guys. Maximum 1 can every 4 hours, not more than that. Do not exceed 3 cans per day. Whoa. Not recommended for children under the age of 12 years of age, pregnant or lactating women, persons sensitive to caffeine.
In bold. You know what? We are not allowed to have it. No, we'll have it in spirit. Thank you.
I'm so excited.
Glad to be back.
Anxiety Thokozani. She is South Africa's darling. She is a traditional sangoma. She is doing really well for herself. Her life has just been ushered into the public eye since the past year. I think now she's got a taste of our lives. If you have not checked out an episode we did exactly a year ago, go check it out. Actually, it was the most watched episode for the longest time. And it was friendly. Umoya was positive. She opened up about her life story. And today we're taking a different direction. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the great MPHO WABADIMO.
Thokozani. And to everyone at home. And thank you again for having me here. And what an honor. Nami ngikhumbulile. But yeah, I still keep my words. Ukuthi, the vibes don't lie. Yeah, the vibes don't lie. Keep at it.
Khona manje, at least me too.
Yeah.
And I'm actually glad that we are recording this episode before us vakashela la emhlabeni. Well, before I figure la emhlabeni, so hey, welcome to the world. How far along are you?
I'm almost done, basically. With my
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you trying to tell me it can happen now on camera? It can happen.
Yes. So
you're brave. Done. And you came all the way here.
Yeah.
Siyabonga.
Thokoz.
This is so historical. I like the fact that he will be watching this. It's a he, ne? Mm-hmm. Oh, and you've got a he. So you've got 2 boys.
2 boys.
Congratulations.
2 boys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Naseka mkhulu uzobukela le episode ukuthi wow. So I was just about to pop there.
Just about to pop. It's been a long pregnancy. Just a few more decades to go until I give birth, but I'm glad we are reaching the end. It's not easy. Pregnancy is not easy for anyone. Okay, right. Okay, cool.
And I want to know let's start with the pregnancy. And you're just saying pregnancy is not easy for anyone. Is there anything that young girls out there should know. Even girls in high school, even my daughter who's 10 years old, who's watching this episode, what is it that they, even older women who'd love to have kids who've never given birth before, who've never been pregnant before?
There is no manual to being women. That's the first thing. And pregnancy is God's gift. Mighty God's gift. nguNkulunkulu wethu nomkhulwane, the God of fertility. We are here to reciprocate, senza abantwana, and all of these other things. So it's a gift, esitholile, but you should be mentally and emotionally ready, because it takes such a huge change in every aspect. And pregnancies are not the same. You might think first pregnancy, it's not the same, because even through pregnancy you can find yourself in mental turmoil, emotional turmoil. You are bringing forth a new life. You are a portal now of this energy that's coming. The gods have decided that you are going to carry this spirit. Naye ukhethile. So there's a level of discipline that comes. But I know they will say plan for pregnancy. Isipas plan. The gods plan. God plans, and they know the timing. So it's just that you have to be prepared for change, and don't lose yourself while bringing life. Stay true to who you are. It's beautiful.
Stay true to who you are. Don't lose yourself. And because this is going to be such a monumental episode for the rest of your life, even as a mother, uma ngithi ungambheka kule camera ukhulume naye, naye alobela sibhekile sesiswini, sekaphumile sekamdalanyana, sekabukele le episode, it's a few years from today, ungathanda ukuthini kuyena?
My baby, the second love of my life, because there's already Zweli, who's the love of my life. I am so grateful to have met you. You have been a blessing. Ukuza kwakho nje empilweni yami has been nothing but beautiful. You came at a perfect time, because I was drowning, and you came and wang saver. You became my lifeguard, and for that I'll always appreciate you. We sipo sabadala, and I know you are bringing forth positivity to the world. So usher in your greatness, usher in your power, and let's conquer the world, my love.
Oh, what a beautiful message. Thokoza. Asiqale ke. Since the last time I saw you, it's been a year. You are ushered into the industry. Spotlights were on you. You were just now starting to experience this new life, which is now the rest of your life in the public eye. How has it been the past year?
It has been rough. I don't want to lie. I think I had the taste of the industry fame and in huge doses at such a short space of time. Normally people build up to this. You are known, then jiggy jiggy. Mina overnight, I am now this known person. My life is out there. You're trying to control and have a life within this public life. There is no life. There is no life. I think 2022 has been by far the loneliness, the saddest year of my entire life. It doesn't come compared to anything. Throughout the year, there was a time I even felt like I was ready to give up, take my own life, because it was just too much. It was too loud. And I was like, to a certain extent, I would always ask Abogogo, please give me, whatever. But I didn't sign up for anything else that came with that. The toxicity, it was just a lot. But I understood that for me to be grounded as I am today, I needed to go through all of that. Because if it came and it was smooth sailing, I don't think I would have the brains to make good decisions. Because it's very easy for you to make a bad decision. I had to take a step back. And when I think that the moment of taking a step back was when I found out I'm pregnant. That's when a switch went on in my body, like, you need to start living. Because I was just waking up, going to bed, not knowing who this person is. I would look at myself in the mirror. I did not know. It was a matter of trying to catch up. I need to do 1, 2, 3. And I've been gone for 3 months. So I'm back. Let me try and push. Ngapha, there's a pressure. I need to show up. Ngapha, there's so much I can do, because I felt like to a certain extent a part of my soul was sold without my consent. and I needed to fight to get that back. And that was a lot. It was a battle.
And I see that you came with your brother.
Yeah.
And I was just appreciating him off air. Ngithi Tham fethu. You know, it's a beautiful thing. Ukuthi unakekela incosi yakini, nivana you-two.
Siyabonga.
And I also would like to hear what do you have to say to your family who've been with you through thick and thin, through everything, throughout the past year. What would you like to say to them?
To my family, I appreciate them. And it's just me, my mom, and my brother. And we have experienced everything through each other. And they didn't know in detail, but when I had to sit down and tell them that I'm on medication, I'm taking antidepressants, I'm seeing a therapist without your knowledge, they were shocked. They're like, Tina, sibona ukuthi right, you have everything. And that's when I had to sit them down that it's not what you think it is. It was a shock, but it made sense. We had to go through this together. Their support has been beautiful. Angisumuntu abantu abaningi around me na, but they've been a constant. Through the fire, through the waves, through everything, they've always remained. Guti, we will always have your back. So I literally have zero trust, but I know with them, I can be myself and not be judged. I can have my days of, I don't feel like being seen today. It's okay. You can spend days in the house. And their support has been just immeasurable. To me, when I look at myself, my mom, and my brother, we are triplets. Konke sikwenza sonke. Sikhala sonke, sivuga sonke. That's how our relationship is so deep. So with everything that has happened, they felt it. They can tell mangeko right. They know it. Ababi beko right. So I feel good. Appreciation will never stop. That's why everything again, they are the first people I think about. As long as umamami no putwamba shapu, everything else.
It's one thing to be famous. Or let me put it this way. It's one thing to let's say ticket to win lotto. It's one thing to win lotto quietly. And when in your situation is you're not only just ushered into the industry, the media, and it's blasted everywhere with uwinele mali. And 14 abantu abamnyama just 1 million. I can imagine when I used to live the life of driving expensive cars, like nakubonakala ukuthi unemali nawuvela nje. I was in it at the time. I did not understand what was going on, but now that I'm outside of it and it's years later, I'm more mature, I look back, I was like, it was another life.
Cool.
And especially in our community, abantu abamnyama ukuthi unemali wena siyazi ukuthi unemali. What are some of the things you experience ngabantu abazitshela ukuthi unemali?
I honestly wished that vele ngawini lotto in private and no one knows. So from the day I was announced the winner, ngihambe with this, a wallpaper yokuthi nangu 2 million, even just going to buy food, also udlale 2 million. And it was not a comfortable situation to be at. At first I was like, you know what am I going to do? Because I had plans with everything that was going to happen. My biggest priority was my family, because in a situation as a kaya, and also now ifigile this amount of money. And it's not how you expect it to figure. Remember, there's revenues and all of these things that come. So now now.
Actually, number one,
Thank you. So when you see that, I remember the first time angisho ngibuya elokishini, and in my head, million. So I take my brother, sahamba saye garage. No, I want a car. Ne, it's like, no, I'm just a shopper for a car. Maybe I might get your car. And we get into this garage in Kulu. And I look at cars there, and literally those cars were equivalent to my bank balance. I went in there as, hi, I'm WABADIMO with a millionaire, to I will come back some other time. That's when I think I realized that our definition of wealth is not the same. And our relationship with money is not the same as well. If I had won this money, in a well-off environment, it was minimum cash. But it's a lot when you look at it. But to be
seems like a
honest,
lot.
it is not. That's when I think I had to make brutal decisions. Some of them, I looked at them like, ew, what the hell am I doing? But it made sense at the time because I needed to put away something. I have kids now. And I needed to think for my family. So are we going to wear Gucci every day? Or are we going to put our money? So izo cooler. That's the plan. Because also remember, imali, it's spirit. And there is okuphatha ngendlela oyiphatha ngayo. So if you are reckless with money, nayo mayifika kuwe ingene yaphuma izenza nje ichiri ngana direction. But if you are disciplined and you know plans that mayifika, this is where you're going, this is where you're going. So you needed to plant seeds where you needed to. I remember the first interviews I did when I said 2 million is not a lot. People were looking at me like I lawyer better. And actually it wasn't a lot. You look at yourself, I'm looking after households, 4 to be total. And there's me, there's my kids, there's all of this. I mean, it's not a lot. You think, do I eat this, show the public that I'm a millionaire, slay all day, every day, or put this away so that the harvest of this at a later stage? It might not be today, but it will make sense at a later stage. That was the decision I had to make. So I've never been one for a flashy life, and I think nakhona ngikhulele ekhayeni whereby we've always been people that have tried ukuhlanganisa impilo. So ingafika 2 million komunye umuntu ibe imali eningi, but inkinga zethu asifani. You know, but I'm grateful that when I made the decisions to venture into lezinto, I think only this year feel good. Now I can feel like I am having money because canning zobona the returns of whatever I've been putting my money into. At then it seemed like manje things are like, nah, it's okay. I'd rather not look like my bank balance but be living well off. Cause I mean, it doesn't make sense. I can wear all these expensive things, but I have no assets to my name. I have liabilities. I have a house I need to have assets. That's why I tell that the relationship with money is very important. Have your assets, and your assets should be able to maintain themselves. And what kind of assets? Going into business. And business is a risk as well, Mkulu, because you will put money, watch money go away, not expect to get what you... So you need to always be ready for whatever challenge and change it brings. So I think where I'm at, I've made my mistakes when it comes to business, but it's only now that we got it right. You know, because there was a lot of voices. People come, they tell you how to spend your money. I don't know, my emails were full of business proposals. Paul, you can do this. And Paul, we have these big plans. I'm like, yo. When will this ever end? But I think sitting down with people around me, and I'm talking about triplets, the 3 musketeers, it made more sense than to sit down with the public. Today, we have our own farm that we can go and say, hey, today is a keeper, it's in love here. We have things that I think my mom has her passions, my brother has his passions, I have my passions, but maslangana, the plan is to asenze into shits nakusasa. Sukwazi ukubuyela lapha uzweli usamkelo bakhona ukuthi babuyele laphana singathi hey sike saba nemali and angifuni ukuthi sikhulise abantwana abathuswa yimillion. No, they might look at money and understand that money comes in values. It appreciates, it depreciates. And also the state of our country, we need to look at that. So let's open ourselves up to planting seeds that are going to make returns for us instead of just pupulling the funds.
I like the topic that we are still on. The first thing that you said when you are answering is imali umoya, money is energy. Let's double click on that one. Let's go a little bit deeper. The relationship with money, and I like the line of conversation we're having because it's educational for abantu abaningi out there, and it's sort of eye opening as well because nami nangisakula imillion, you know, and khani manje understand good. Number one, akusi million, 45% yakhona yakusasa.
Yeah.
Half of it goes to SARS pretty much, you know. Already nje akusi million. And naleyo nje onayo already on its own. You've got burdens, you've got responsibilities, etc. Ngiyayibona leyo. But let's double click onto imali being umoya, money being energy.
We normally say that umuntu athi kuwe hayi imali inento zakhona ora ngifuni mina imali eningi izongibangela inkinga, and the minute you start using the mentality of more money, more problems, that's what it's going to bring. More money, more abundance, because money is power at the same time. When I say it's a spirit, kunengelo sefikayo that locates your life. Iyahlala imali. Angisho siyacela imali uzine emsamo. That's why sibeka imali, siyakhangisa. So mayifikile leyo ngelo esiloyo, you tell it what to do. Yazini ngelosi yami, hambolanda abakini, hambolanda bomaluma, zizaleni nina, kungapheleli lana. Because even now, abantu abadala amadlozi, they know that we need money to survive. In their days, this 2 million, I would be on Forbes 3 times, 11 times.
Yeah.
But we are in 2023, 2022. And they say, good, you know what, this is as... So, amandla agiti, you just need to connect yourself to your rights, your power. So, abantu, they don't want to tap into their power. This 2 million, I manifested it in Kula. I always say that. I manifested this money. I go back to my page I used to write. I used to say in 2022, I will have 2 million. I don't know how, but izofika. Ifigile, ngaiwina. Just by being me, ngizibhemile isnave sami, and. That was my ancestors showing off and saying, you know what? You, by believing in your power, ingelosi iyamkhetho wayo, because imali ifana ne ngizothini, imali is a very expensive girlfriend. It needs maintenance. Mayize kuwe yathi ngiyakuthanda, nawe fuze uziphathe. I always say, look like how you want to be addressed.
Thank you.
Look like money.
So that's part of manifesting.
Yes, that's part of manifesting. You can't say ngifuna uba nemali the whole week uhlela ugezi. You don't care about yourself. You don't aspire for bigger things. Life on inako, busy with gossip columns. You should be viewing houses, viewing property, viewing cars, things you aspire to live.
So that ingqondo yakho ijwayela lama images
iyajwayela. You know, get out of them and say, good, hi, as my cities arrive, I said, like, I wanna think, because it tastes kanjani. You know, think out of the box. Once you start thinking like that, you start attracting that. You plan as though ikona. As ma say ikona le mali, I need to do this, I need to do that. Trust me. There is no way. There is no way.
Sometimes a simple thing like uzikhipe ugeze ube clean uyi-one nje.
Mkhulu.
Because you've got something yanencane, uzikhipe restaurant top uyozihlalela uyi-one, but uzitreat as such. Thina nasisakhula besithanda ukuya small streets sishaye window shopping. Sizibona sesizigqokile leza impahla sasithenga boma Esquire boma GQ magazine. For some reason at the time I didn't even understand about the concept of you know, money being energy and just manifesting, you know, your dreams.
It also it shows itself in your life, because uyazi ukuthi kunabantu that no matter kungaba njani, but umuntu akhona akayisweli ngisho 10 rand or 2 rand. That's why nasemsam hlezi kunemali. There's a reason why we bringing all the elements that make up umuntu ukuthi asurvive emhlabeni. Kunokudla, kunotshwala, kunemali. You can't have either, not have either. There must be a balance. And so if you start treating yourself as how your ancestors see you, I always say this, your ancestors don't see broke. They don't see disadvantage. They don't see shem skepsel. They see that everything is here. You just gotta listen deeper. You just gotta see deeper. Allow us. Because I want this. They give you, and then they try and align you. But now the problem is tinas funu plena kakhulu ngempilo zethu. Allow idlozi likuxoxe, likumole, likubonise ukuthi iyala. I knocked on so many doors. But there was so many no's. Ngikhale msam, nina ningithandi nina nifuna ngihlelelana endumbeni forever. And they said, okay, let's give you everything at once. See if you can handle everything. Now everything came. I go back to them and I'm like, it makes sense why ningbeka ningvikela kangaka. Umuntu nomuntu uyimfihlakalo yedlozi lakibo. And once you understand that there's power within you, you protect that power by all means. But when it comes to imali izohlezi iqoma if uvula inhliziyo yakho. And imali ayathanda abantu greedy. If ugomela kwesakhe, you will starve. You will starve. Imali ifuna umuntu onenhliziyo evulekile, because uma uyamkela with an open heart, angisho amadlozi akupha with an open heart. Uma uyamkela with an open heart, you'll never lack. You will never lack. But uma uyamkela with greed, hayi yabona lena ke, yabona manje into. Don't ever uphahle uma ubone khona uthi ngiyabonga, siyabonga bogogo yazi nisebenzile. It's never enough. Challenge your ancestors. I always say this. Tell them, I want more than this. If you can do this, let's take it up a notch.
There's an interview I once watched, Sis Kanyimbawe. It still does trend even today. Abantu abaningi bamgxeka on social media. Then, maybe it's a 5 or 7 or if not 10 years old interview, where she says, no, money is my friend. Money loves me. Money comes to me every day. Money walks with me. If there's a group of people here, money will choose me. And for me, that's the attitude we should all be having with money. And then obviously, as Tina, we are very quick to criticize and not understanding the principles of umoya, energy.
Cool. I always say this. There is a reason umuntu obuyekasi who's never been exposed to the, I'll just use this word loosely, to the finer things in life. Mamletha esenten aba intimidated. Ekasi uye but inemali le. Umletha esenten ahlale nama big dogs. They feel intimidated. Ay, una la baya foster, la baya hesha laba. There's a reason why, that mentality. But once you get there and embody lezo zinto lezo, you realize ukuthi yazini like semhlabeni kuyasetshenzwa. That is why I even teach my son every day. I say this. Tell yourself that you are successful and you are money. Money loves you. And why are you selling 10 rand, 20 rand? No, get used to money, feel it. Because my brother always says, good, look at the animals on the money. Those are the same currencies as begwa emalini. So there should be a problem. Re-evaluate, look at yourself. How you treat man, uyifaka kanjani ephesini. Iyahlonishwa imali mkhulu.
Wow, I love the principle, the example that you've just made of animals. I always say to people, Meluibuze, why do people go to the safari? Why do even Nabelung, even from MPHO, they come to this continent for the big 5? And then what do they do when they get there? They take out their cameras. For the whole day, they're just watching animals. They're not just watching as if it's just a movie. They're studying their patterns. How does a lion behave when it's hungry? How does a lion behave amongst its pride? Who goes for hunting? Is it the female lion, the male lion? How do hyenas hunt? How does a buffalo behave when the lion is around? How does, and because those are natural things that anyone cannot control, it's part of nature, it's part of ihlahla, it's part of ulwandle amanzi. This example that you've just made now, it's for the first time in Empilweni Yami, somebody, brings forth to me actually that analogy that has just been in my eyes all my life. Actually, imali inama animal, especially like asinama animal and in the big 5. And when you're connecting the two with ngapastorana namapai anazo leilwane lezi, it's still the same thing but nama animal. When mentally you just need to connect with that energy.
Connect. It's simple as that. Because also, remember, our ancestors used animals as totems way to whether umvundla or uhlatshayo. There's a totem that your family uses. And so if you trace back and see good, all these animals that is ikona, we do serve somewhere in the big 5. So you cannot subject yourself to disadvantage when everything is here. Everything is around us. It's a matter of just opening your eyes and tapping into it. I want to say this. And now, with this spiritually awakened people and all of that, people, I can say, 50% people were led to be as close as they could to tap into their power. But now, Angisho, we are cracking things that are not supposed to be cracked. And now, the sabotage is coming again. I used to say, look after your body as well, because you might be attracting these things, and also izinto zenzayo around your life, the things, the people you are keeping around you. Zibalekisa leilwane. Re-evaluate. Uphila kanjani? Uhamba nobani? Who are you talking to? What are your dreams saying to you? Lithine like idlozi ngawe.
let's zoom into what you've just said now about our totems as well. You are so correct, because hona le ba taung, hona le ba kwena. You know, it's so interesting the significance of ilwane empilweni zethu as abantu abamnyama.
The power in that. Animals serve amandla. I always say amandla wesilwana awafani nomuntu ophilayo. Isilwana sizingabazi. Sazi ukuthi mina ngiyi-lion, ngiyadla ngiyabulala, and I am the king of the jungle. When they tell you, yes, when you are destined for good things. Hayi, ngizobona, ngizaza ngizobamba here and there. That's the difference between you and that animal. So when amadlozwagini identify with that animal, there is a reason. There are certain characteristics that go ngaleso silwane. The westernized way will say, oh, what's your star sign? But ngesintu, we refer to animals as ama-totem wethu. And if you can check 80% of the time, the maternal side will always be isilwane esihantayo, not the prey.
Say that again. Wow, that's why even the lions, it's a female lion that goes hunting.
Yeah, it will always be a hunter or a strong animal. Esi namandla wokuzvikela. You are never the prey. You are never the prey. So there will be also a land animal and a water animal that you are associated with, and a bird that you are associated with. Yimfihlo zomuntu lezo. And that people don't necessarily know, because it's earth, fire, water, and all these elements four elements ezihlanganayo ezenza wena. So you cannot coexist with all of these kungana balance in one. Umuye emanzini mangifika ngiyinyoka emnyama ecanda isiziba, mangihamba ngisemhlabeni ngiyibhubesi ngiyinkomo. So you need to know, knowing who you are is the beautifulest thing. It's the most powerful thing. When we refer to ourselves, Tina, siyinkonjane ebhabhe mafini. Isithakazelo sakho, hambani nibheke ithakazelo zenu. Those are like the biography of who you are.
Of who you are.
Asike isithakazelo singanasilwane ngaphakathi mkhulu. And then when you go back identifying that animal, you get to see good, oh, that's why abantu banje isibongeni sethu sinje, because of this. Hey.
Why do people go to emanzini, emfuleni, and the significance of going emanzini, emfuleni, nokugeza ngolwandle, and amanzi anjani?
Water is a purifying energy. It is ever evolving. And amanzi awazwani nokungcola, ahlezi ahamba. Kunabantu esiphila nabo kodwa baphila emanzini. In this day and age, unfortunately, kubuhlungu, because now amanzi wethu have been interfered with so much. And also at the same breath, abantu abanye abangahambi ngendlela eyokuvuleka amehlo bahamba babuye bangcolise amanzi. So abantu basemanzini bayakhala, basafa njengasekuqaleni. Going to the water akusafa njengasekuqaleni. Ezinye indawo motors they are now unapproachable for a reason. Because abantu sebenza kakhulu ukungcola. They have discovered the powers that lie with just going emanzini. Going there emanzini usukuyo connecta with yourself, usukuyo ihlambulula, and connecting with your water spirits. And mabathi water spirits thina sizicabanga ukuthi listen, you need that part of your life, because that's water. Uwenze ngamanzi yourself. That is why umuye emanzini. There's this level of lift of energy that you get because usuku ihlambulula. That is why when we have a new moon, you become emotionally imbalanced and spiritually imbalanced, because what the moon does to the water, idlala ngamanzi, iloku wayenza spring cleaning. So basically the old lets go of the new to make the separation. So that's what also happens to the human body. So uma siya emanzini, you are going there to connect with your higher self, uyozihlambulula noma uyocela. It's a big bold step to go emanzini. It's not something you just go on a regular day ukuthi mele ucele kini kuqala kwabakini, so that uma uhamba indlela zakho zizokhanya, because abantu basemanzini abafani namadlozi wethu in per se. Kunabantu abafike bagade emanzini esibabiza ngokuthi umnikazi wamanzi osuka agadile lawo manzi. So if you go there ungakhulumanga ungabikanga ukuthi this is where I'm going, uzohamba uzoba idlozi nawe. So it's important that you do ucela bakini, and then normally it's a big step. Usuku uyocela ufuna inhlambululo. In most cases umuthi always say asinto ongayisebenzisa kakhulu uma usemanzini. You can, kunabantu that, but just using the source on its own, that's power.
That's water. Now let's come to fire or light. Yingani uma not nasichela nasishisa impepho, burning incense. Some people will have candles. Some candles will be red, another one will be blue or green, or another one will be white. What's the significance of lighting a candle or of burning incense? And what are the different meanings between the different color candles? And why do you light another one instead of another one? Why sometimes you mix them? And maybe can you just go deeper there in your understanding and explaining?
All right. So in terms of ukushisa impepho nokulight amakhandlela, I always say when I explain to my students as well, this is what I say, that lighting a candle is like dropping a location pin to amadlozi wakho. You are summoning your ancestors, but now they need to be able to find you and know ukuthi ubani, because now uyingane kubo. So mawucala ubiza, uzobiza abakubomama, ubiza abakubobaba, yimi uzibanibani, ngizalwa uzibanibani, and then ulayita impepho. Impepho serves as that gateway that cleanses the energies around you. Angisho asazi what's going on around us. So the minute ushisa impepho uyageza, ugeza indawo, ugeza indlu. So bayenzela indlela ukuthi bafike bakwazi ukuhlala bakumamele, because there's a lot of energies that exist within around us. You might be walking around, you kunezinto ezingcolile you can't even see, or indlu lo hlala kuyo, whatever the case might be. But uma ushisa impepho, you are cleansing the air, because they are spirit as well. So mabafika bathola balindelwe, ufikile ulayite lelo khandlela lakhe lemhlophe, oh, they understand the situation, siletho ukukhanya, kwenzakalani, beva indaba zakho ukuthi no, this is yinto ngicela niletheni ukukhanya, 1 2 1 2 and 3, ubuthokozisa wenza, because trust me, you will feel the energy change uma uphahla. You can't uphahle ufile ngathi I'm just chilling. The energy changes, you get goosebumps, the temperature drops, uyaza ukuthi manje I'm no longer alone. Bafikile abakithi, because you summoning amadlozi akho is like calling a State of Nation address. Usibizelani? What's the big deal? I always say that's why kuhle ukuzazi ukuthi ubani, so that uma ufika ubiza ama-passwords lapha emsamo, ubiza igama eli-right, ubiza isibongo esi-right. There are people that live their life, uma ufika emsamo abize the wrong DNA. Uma bafika abanye abakutholi, kune-clash nje in the spiritual. So it's important that uwazi ukuthi mangibiza bakabo ngibiza bani, and if I'm talking to a particular ancestor ngibiza lona lelo dlozi. And then in terms of candles mean different things to different people, because we are walking different spiritual paths. So normally I always say, when you just don't know your way around things, a white candle is the safest. A yellow candle, now we are taking it up a notch. Remember, I'm bringing you back to the animals and all these things. Sifaka ubuhlalo, sifaka amabhayi, and all these other things, siyaqoka. It's energy, ama-colors lawa esuke siwafakile. So uzothola ukuthi abantu bazokutshela ukuthi a red candle usuke ulwa. I always say it's always about the intention that you have uma ulayita lelo khandlela. Ungabe ulayita kusuke kuyilelisele kuphela endlini kanti you just want to pray, but it's always the intention that go behind the candle. Even when some people are scared to light a black candle, I also say black candle liyasebenza kakhulu when you are praying for protection. Uma ulwa izimpi ezingabonakali zikamoya, you use that candle. That's not a dark candle. We're taught to see black things as demonic. Not everything is demonic, because ubuhlalo bune black, amabhaya ne black. So where does now supposed to fit? So you basically look at amakhandlela, you get to see amakhandlela afana no pink, uma hlanganisa with your white, your red, those zikhuluma around the relationship aspect of your life, fertility, and izinto ey'fana njengala. So you can pray around that. Uma manje we are moving into financial things, manje ukhuluma with the Department of Finances emadlozini wakho, you know, ngilayita white, ngilayita orange, ngilayita gold. These are the type of candles I use. Amanye amadlozi you might find in particular that they bring you certain colors. When you're now dealing with just being your spirituality, you can use your purple, your yellow, your blue, your whites. It's the colors. It's the colors. So kuya ngomuntu ukuthi at that time idlozi limbo. That's why I always say listen to idlozi, because we are too quick to say ugogo wathi I must ngizwe on YouTube to use a blue candle uma ufuna ukukhulekela umsebenzi. Kanti uthole ukuthi I need to use a certain color candle because there's a certain type of energy. Remember, we are also an energy as a people. I always say look at yourself as a rainbow. All these colors you possess within you. Uma ungagezekanga, if you are aligned, uma unezinto eziningi ezenzakalayo kuwe, those colors fade away. We start to see your grays, your browns. That is why uthola as thina abantu abalapha, we will always say no, it is sigeze. We want to cleanse so that ama colors wakho azobonakala kahle from your head chakra to your root to your womb chakra uzoba right, so that uma sesithi khanyisa siyazi ukuthi ukhanyisela ini. So it's different strokes for different folks, but kuzimamela wena. Kunabantu that don't use certain candles at all. You know, omunye uzokutshela ukuthi if I use green, I use a brown, ngisuke ngihlanganisa amadlozi wami wasentabeni, or mase ngikhuluma ke namakhehla amadala. That is for them. But I always say there are basics with what I've just mentioned, but I always say listen to your spirit. You'll go into a shop and be drawn to something. You being drawn to that means amadlozi akho saying let us use that. Kufana nesnake, kunabantu abangasebenzisa esimnyama basebenzisa esikhala ethizeni. Everything is about color mkhulu. Color is energy. The colors you wear, always saying, they say a lot about your energy at that particular time in your life. If you can go to your wardrobe and see that my dominant color is black, I need to do something. There's something I need to change around my life. I need to add color. You know, kunabantu that you know that red yakhe. That's your spirit color. That's who you come forth as. So it's important to know the vibrations, and it's beautiful, but it's a lot.
But then to rewind kancane futhi, so now then ukhuluma nabo uyababiza. We're talking about ukushisa impepho earlier. Umubabiza, it's also important to not only ubabize ngeyithakazelo, ubabize bona. Kubalekile ukuthi nawe ubatshele ukuthi uyindodana or indodakazi kabani owakabani, so nabo they can trace ukuthi nawe kahle ubani, because mhlambe because some of them bashona 100 of years ago. Now umama akho nobaba nomama kamama akho naye self bekangakazalwa. So ukubaluleka ukuthi ube specific ngokuthi nawe owakabani ozalwa kabani owakabani.
It is important, especially if you're starting out ngokwazisisa ngokuphahla. Remember, dala kwakuthiwa abantu abaphahlayo, it's only the elders in the family, but we are slowly watching that change because the level of spiritual awakening has also evolved. It's no longer just imfihlo abogogo nabomkhulu basekhaya. The younger generation kunemizi that are just child-headed households, biza bani because akunamaluma. So now uma ufika emsamo kubalekile ukuzichaza ukuthi wena uyingane yakuphi, so that even nakusasa should you go and consult but izinto zakho azikho right, you'll say no, but being phahla ngibiza, so only find a good, oh, isibongo saka mama, actually it is not mom's surname. You've been saying the right things but using the wrong pin codes. So we get to realign that. So when ubiza abantu abangakwazi, or sometimes uyababiza bakuphike bathi awukwazi ukuthi wena udube ubaba khazanga azakubike emsameni wethu. Then umuntu onjalo simbiza ukuthini umntana wakhabo malumo. Makabize emsamo ubiza amadlozi wakhabo mama. So in that case you asho ukuthi umntana kabani ozalo ubani ngibiza nina bozibani, then ubiza amadlozi. But if you are strong and know ukuthi who you are sure ukuthi ubaba for sure uzalwa la, you are able ukuqala ngakhabo mama. Khabo mama, there's a reason why we start with the maternal side and then the paternal side, because for you ukuthi ube khona kuceliwe ngapha, can we use lo mhlaba wenu ukuthi sitshale imbewu yethu? Yes, the negotiation was there. What are you bringing to the table? No, this and this and that. Then along life kuba inkinga between the individuals, but ngokwedlozi it has been decided ukuthi this will happen. So mafike emsamo usho ukuthi yimi ungane kabani ezalo bani. So the only thing I can say is that if you are strong and know the relationship yamadlozi wakho, biza isibongo ozazi ngaso. If uyazi ukuthi ubaba azange ahofike kini, azange wadlisa ukudla kwakhabo baba, because sometimes nenkinga yokuthi uthi kamama amahlangu baba uDube wena uthi uDube leso sikhathi uphila kamahlangu uphiliswa amadlozi kamahlangu icala lelo edlozini. That is why uzophahluza uwoma umlomo amadlozi athi wena wakwazi and uyawadelela ufida kanjani abantu bakaDube ngemali yethu thina omahlangu wena boDube didn't do anything for you. So you need to have that understanding. That is why ngithi abantu abadala bebanemfihlo, but we are a woke generation. We ask the whys. Why is it like this? Who is this? If we yabona ukuthi kunamahiqi because indaba yesibongo omkhulu is very sensitive. It is very sensitive. Omunye umuntu impilo yamanzi just by a surname. Just by a surname, because umubiza the incorrect lineage usuyimoshile, you are passing that on to your kids as well. So now you've broken the lineage. The bloodline is no longer, it's now it doesn't make sense. Nabo nobubabiza like it doesn't make sense. So it's good that there's an understanding. Umubiza amadlozi akho ukuthi ngibiza nini obobani. There are times where you'll just do izinto zakhabo mama or just do izinto zakhabo baba, because I always say amanye amadlozi awafuna ukuhlangana, especially the maternal and paternal. Sometimes it's a dangerous thing ubahlanganisa if your parents are not married. So ungabashadisi bangashadanga when uyaphahla yeni nabakubo mama nakabo baba, you'll stay lapha ekoneni lakho impepho ivuthi izichophe emehlweni. Be direct ukuthi kwenza umama washada nobaba cha. So why mele ngibize laba mangifuna laba ngesikhathi if useseyingane yasekhaya or everything you've been using anisibongo sakhabo mama, even nongoba uphahla uzophahla abakhabo mama, but mawufuna bakubaba hamba esigangeni angisho abakakuhlawula ubabizelani khabo mama bazohlala badla itiya khabo mama inkinga.
So kunomehluko ukuphahla noma ukubabiza endlini ekhaya indoors.
Yes.
Nokukwenza lokho outside ijarity lakini esigangeni.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know
that. Iyafana lento ukuthi angisho ngeke i-boyfriend uyifake kini. So that's the same thing oyenzayo wena unendlu hayi ithi ngihlanganisa amadlozi ami njani bangashadanga labantu. So you call them as how they are. So that's why ngithi as a people kubalekile ukuthi senze izinto ngendlela efanelekile so that singazoba confused thina abasele le generation must figure emsam, because whatever we know now we are passing it on to our kids. So if you are going to be that guy, mina cause umntana kahlawula kuphela uyalobola. So you might think just cause umhlawulile wakho, no akuso wakho, ububonisa icala lele lenzekile ubonga ingane ukuthi khona, but now kuze abe fully owakaDube kunemfanelo zikaDube futhi afike emsamo kaDube ashisela impepho afake isiphandla sakaDube kusho ukuthi manje uDube ngokuphelele, but doesn't mean ukuthi now so uDube emele ulahla amadlozi akhabo mama cha. They are always going to be first in everything.
What happens if ubaba azangagane umama wena so uyingane, let's say umfana uthola ingane yakho nawe mhlambe let's say ingane yakho okay, let me make this example this way. Let's say now ingane yakho umama wakhona awumgananga nigananga mhlambe niyahlukana kodwa niyaqhubeka ngempilo. Uma ubabiza abantu abadala kumele wenze njani? Let me repeat. Ingane umama wayo wena awumgananga ngoba mhlambe nahlukana. Nawe self umama wakho azanga ganwe ubaba wakho wangempela or biological. How do you address that to abaphansi?
So what I like about amadlozi ayithanda deja vu. They will repeat history until you get it right. Bazoyiphinda if ekhaya nivamisile ukuthi niyazalisa nishiya abantwana, it will always come. If ekhaya umkhulu lo onithwele mhlambe lo azange naye walungisa kagogo, nizoba njalo nizolobola nishiye nobole nje uze uyongena ethuneni until it's rectified, then khona kuzolunga. That is why I always say ama firstborn, they play a huge role ekhaya. Because now umusuqala ubiza isibongo lasesekhaya uthole kuneyinkinga bathi umsamfu uzulungiswe, masikhuluma kulungisa sikhuluma ngezinto ezikanje. That's why uthola umuntu ayang but fuze ayolobola uzibuza ukuthi kanjani kusuka kwamaqala, because those generational, I won't call them curses, those generational bad decisions will continue to haunt us. So in your case mkhulu lo ichazayo wena umntana kamalume angisho ubaba bakho didn't do anything for you, nomntwana wakho umntana kamalume. So isibongo sakhabo mama yiso esisinda kulomntana more than your paternal side. Yes, DNA wise you can be your mother's side and your father's side, but mase isilanda sesikhipha ama file manje ngokwedlozi, they will never be present bakhabo baba. Amanye amadlozi amanye awafani namanye, amanye they are forthcoming bathi sizomnikeza but through ngendlela ethize but azisafiki ngendlela right. Amanye asasimazi vele thina bakubonise ukuthi laba bakuncengi. So to be on the safe side, don't confuse yourself or don't confuse your kids. Keep to what you know best. If you know nothing was done for you, mama ubaba zanga yenze nix, upromise nje umama wampromisa and then wahamba, umama wasekhaya. I always say, even sometimes sinokumalana into ukuthi isibongo lesi wine isibiza, hayi ugogo bekashada nomkhulu, muthi yalandelela umkhulu azange ashada ugogo, bebahlalisana because ngenxa kudala. Nakhona lapho umkhulu unecala, so siyamjumpa umkhulu manje sesibiza isibongo saka mama straight asabi. So the woman plays a very vital role when it comes to spirituality. That's what people will undermine. We are the portals of life, and we are the it's so deep. I don't want to lie. It's so deep to the point of it DNA yethu. Our lineage is more stronger than the paternal side. Nina niyacala, tina siya qhubekisa imbewu yenu. So uma imbewu yenu ningayinakekeli, automatically gabo mama they win it eyabo. It goes back. So you can't. I always have a problem with people that say ngidinga isiko lakhabo babam. That time umuntu umbheke, maybe they well enough, you know, but right umuntu sekakhulile athayenzele isiko lakhabo baba impilo starts declining. Ubu right all along. Let us stop fooling ourselves and thinking ukuthi just because there is no paternal element ese usukise unabo gogo bakhabo mama unabo mkhulu bakhabo mama. Come on now. Unabantu abadala kunamakhehla azali ikhehle elizela umama ubabakho. There are male figures, but masithi bakhawo mama you always thinking about gogo bama faskoti, kanti no, bakhona amakhehla amadala athi mawakubheka abona indoda endala efuna ilungise lokho abona bakushiye emuva, because we walk in our ancestors' footprints. So making a decision to say hayi mina sengisibongeni sakhabo baba, it's not just home affairs wise, it goes deep. It's deep than just the physical eye. Mawilungise home affairs nalapha futhi ilunga, but if akuphumanga anything khabo baba, because mele kuphume something and ayiphume kuwe kubo even no by R1. So if abakhipha next
khabo baba,
yes,
the significance of that, it acts as some sort of way of at least have contributed something kulengane.
Yes, because umuntu sekafika sekamdala athi ngizohlawula ingane noma ngizolobola ingane, amadlozi will always argue umntana lo simkhulise ngepapa lethu azakhula bengaka namhlanje unakonke nako yithi imisebenzi yethu sambe sikhanyisa makaphahla phakama thina masenza eni phakama thina. So niyavela namhlanje niyamhlawula niyamthatha ngamapha amagama phuze nabachaze no simchintsha simfaka kulesibongo, then uthola umuntu masekachintshile usoyakhohlwa ukuthi konje kuyona amadlozi akho mama njalo mawuhlaba wena kwakho he nina bakadube then your life starts spiraling out of control. Uthola ukuthi nasi isibongo saka baba ubaba azange ubaba akhe ashade nomama akhe, so nabo lesibongo abakufaka kuso abana ne surety yaso. So knowing and understanding it's a very deep thing. That's why ngithi indlela yedlozi ifuna uma uyihambe ngokuzinikela uzitshela ukuthi I want to know better. Whatever the truth I'm gonna uncover, it is what it is. Because sometimes uzozibiza ngesibongo uhlushe ikhehlo ongalazi likubangisele nje ukuthi usebenzise lesibongo. Mawuthi uyalandela, this person probably was just somewhere there ku bloodline yakho bekayi boyfriend kagogo, but because of bekahlala nogogo nafaka kulesibongo, so he's lingering over your life claiming you kuyo yonke into and uyavala izinto zakho amadlozi akho mawuthelethe yena uyathatha ukhiphela ngaphandle. So it's important, it's sensitive, but it's something that has to be understood and known. You ngeke uphahle into eyiwani for, I always say angeke uphahle into eyiwani for decades kungabi noshintsho. There's always a problem elapha emsamo.
what happens if abazali bami bashona ngintandane? I don't even know where my relatives or my family's relatives or my father's side where they are. Nje nginto nje ephilayo la emhlabeni kodwa angizazi. What is the first step that one has to take ngesintu?
That is why
Apart from just the home affairs
yes,
kuphela.
yes,
Let's
yes.
say ngokomoya.
Ngokomoya uyaphuma uyofuna ngempilo. Thina we always look at uma ngesangomeni ngifuna ukwazi ukuthi ubani uthatha iphenti lami or ubani ongiloyayo. That's not always the case. We are there as mediators between the spiritual and the physical. When you come with that type of situation, I'm able to sit down. Now I need to go back to understand your lineage. Ikhehleli zofika. That's going to claim you. Or ugogo zofika ozoclaima. Ozosho ukuthi mina ngubani ozalwa kabani. Gogo umntana lo niyamazi wasilahlekela. Especially in most cases, it's a very sad situation because uthola amadlozi kudala kufuna. Ubone ngathi wena just because ngiyintandana angizazi ukuthi impilo yami yabheda kanti uzuliswa amadlozi. Afuna ukuthi uzuzithole wena. So in that case you go uyofunisisa ngempilo yakho wazi ukuthi ubani. Uma usutholile I always say don't rush ngigijimela ukuthi ngiyethuneni elaka Dube because bathe ngudube. Have the necessary understanding. That is why I always say abantu abafana nathi are mediators. We will go deep and understand the situation. Sibone ukuthi okay ngokwedlozi naku. So when uzalele ekhaya kahle kahle umama akho na she was not married. So this is the step we need to take. Then there are certain rituals that we perform ukuze na uzomisa umsamo because umuntu nomuntu unempande yakhe. No man is just floating.
And maybe lastly for this episode, because sure, this is only just, the tip of the iceberg. There's just so much to talk about. What do you say to, especially the newer and younger generation? I used to be one of those. I grew up Christian. I followed the westernized way of living. Yes, ngiyabeza bakhuluma ngamadlozi, bakhuluma ngezangoma. For me, it's just something that is there. Ngizibhilivela kuNkulunkulu, and I never take any of this serious. Ngiyaziqhubekela nje ngempilo yami. Asikhulume nalaba ukuthi mhlambe they have not experienced the difficulty of life yet. How do we help them get a bit of an understanding here so they themselves to go do their own research before they start encountering difficulty in life, especially before it's too late when their parents mhlambe sebashonile, it's even much later, they could have done it earlier. What would you like to say to those young people, Konamanja?
So when we look at African spirituality, I always say African spirituality is freedom. And when our freedom was taken away from us, we were now put under religions to instill a certain level of fear in our lives. If you don't do this, that is all a way to contain our power and who we are. So African spirituality is a way of life because it liberates us, especially as a black person. Guti, this is who I am and this is where I'm going. And uzazi impande zako. For the main fact that you have a name and a surname, there's a bloodline. You are a result of 1,000 and million ancestors that came before you. So you cannot just walk and say, "Hi, amadlozi aweko" or anything. It means you are non-existent yourself. You just came out from nowhere. But once you start to understand, Guti, I am Hlongo, that means that someone had to be born so that I could be born. Then you start looking at things differently. So to young people, I always say, we are at a phase, or rather a chapter, of unlearning what has already been there. We are the generation that wants to understand why. In terms of mama, why nisifihlela ukuthi la ekhaya kunezangoma? Why nisifihlela ukuthi la ekhaya impepho beyishiswa? So abo mama bethu bebakwenza lokho because it was shunned upon practicing African spirituality loudly. But now we're in a generation whereby kuthiwa practice your spirituality loudly, but be careful. It's sad. Because this is African spirituality is freedom. So as a young person, you cannot walk around upila ungazazi ukuthi ubani. It might not catch up with you now, but it will at a later stage. Because ukuzazi kujabulisa abagini ohamba nabo. Because you're going to want to settle down, get married and do all those things. Uthola ukuthi egini there was a problem vele eyemishado noma eyokuzala. Ukuthi aninayo inzalo nina. Now you need to go back and trace and izokulide lapha emsamo. That is why you find that most medical problems are spiritually rooted.
I would have loved to have gotten deeper in this conversation. It also involves me, you know. It also has a lot to do with what you guys have been asking me. I'm in the public eye, I'm growing my hair. I know I've not given you guys an opportunity to clear things out and explain and go into detail. It's much deeper than you might think. It's much deeper than just me, you know, making dreadlocks and just hugging trees. But I will say this. You will get a deeper and much better understanding in a new book that I've been writing ever since I started this journey about 5 years ago, all the way to now. I'm still writing. I'm going towards the end of the book, but it's not the end of the actual story. Even compressing it onto a book, it's still not enough, you know. I'm still going through that journey. That's why I'm asking these types of questions that I'm asking. And a lot of the things that I share on the internet, it's some of the things that I've also had to experience, so that at least that information helps you younger guys out there before you get there. That's why even this last question that I've just asked there, about a lot of us that are living a westernized lifestyle. And she's just said, it might not now, but it will catch up with you later. I'm one of those people when it did catch up with me a few years ago. It's caught up with me, even namanje. It's not an easy thing to explain to people. And it's also not an easy thing to just sort out and have a solution for it and get out of it in a month or in a few weeks or in just 1 year. But it's deeper than that. So that's why... I think that's why I leave it for now. You'll have a better understanding of my own journey through the book that I'm going to put out later on this year. It will be around September, October. And I think this last question will be very important. The reason why we keep a September, October is because lately one has also been learning about our own natural, yes, people will call it African New Year, you know, and then you'll find Abomkul, Abanjengabo, Zamalek Giza saying there's no such a thing as African spirituality, you know, or African New Year. Thina sihamba ngenature, imvelo ukuthi sisakuphi. And that's when I also want to launch the book September, October. And maybe before you leave us, the significance of that time. As a people, as a Bantu abamnyama, the significance of September, October. Maybe let's say August, September, October.
So around those times, it's I always say it's a time for rebirth and renewal. So ngesicala kabusha. Our ngizothini ngesintu uma sibheka kusuke umhlaba uzizala kabusha. That means all things are gone and now all things become new. And gonko okwaziyo about yourself, it is gone. So it is a new year. I'm not going to say it's an African New Year. It is a new year. It was just changed because Angisho, a lot of things were colonized. But that is also when I get to celebrate a new year. So that by that time, you'll be going into 2024. That's September. We're going into a new year. So Umakshama fireworks, man, we've been there, we've done that. That is why I feel we're living a lot in backwards. That is why sometimes uzobona, even on our dreams, the dreams, the synergies, kunezinto ezingabhalansi, because some of us are living in the past, whereby we should be living in the future. Umakusondela around that time, normally kudala kwakuhlatshwa. We would honor land, we would honor earth, we would honor water, we would honor all the energies that exist amadlozi wethu siyahlaba around the time, because uma sekudlula phase yokuthi umhlaba usugezekile sesingaqala kabusha sitshale. So whatever seeds are planted around the time, it makes sense.
That's the reason why I will be dropping the book around that time. Nyabonga kakhulu. And I think Uguti, this is not enough. You know, I said it the last time, a year ago. I was like, ngiyacela ukuthi uyoqala a platform where you can share your knowledge. You know, a lot of people want to know. A lot of us, I'm going through that journey, you know, and it's a never-ending journey. It's for the rest of my life of seeking knowledge, you know. Mina sekuphelile ukuhlwa.
Yeah.
Kodwa sekwaqala a few years ago ukufuna iqiniso. And isizathu sami sokuthi ngilifune leqiniso, my reasons for walking the journey I'm walking, it's not for me. Ngiyazi ukuthi ngubaba. wengane.
Injalo.
What information am I passing on to my children? So what I'm doing is I have to do it so that they don't have to suffer for many years trying to also have to go seek this knowledge. I'm doing it on their behalf. I would rather be ridiculed in public. I'd rather go through a lot of whatever I have to go through. I don't care.
Yeah.
But what matters for me is I have to do things right, and I have to get the right information. Engizoyidlulisela kulabantu laba engibalethela emhlabeni. And bengicela ukuthi ungadinwa nakusasa. I would love for you to come back. I would love for you to start your own platform. We would love to assist wherever we can. We are an educational platform, and this type of education has been shunned upon for many years. We're no longer stopping with it.
True.
There'll actually be even more of it. We're not stopping. We want the truth, and the truth shall be found out. I would love for you to go and have an amazing, beautiful, positive, clean, happy birth.
Thank you.
Magas joy emhlabeni. And then it's kind of
Umofaya.
necessary. Tell them who don't take Zimofaya.
Yay! This girl has been around.
Hustling,
I've been hustling. Could I always go back to that picture and I'm like, look at the law of manifestation. I say the first time when I was at Wild Waters, it was a good spring fiesta, and we took pictures with Puma in a bathroom. I was like, they just do, can I have a picture? Then we took a picture. Later on, I was mobile. Like, it doesn't get any better than that.
I am so proud of you, Danseka, as your brother.
Thank you
this
so
is
much.
nothing. What you've just gone through this past year, it's just the beginning of
true.
Propelling you to greater heights.
True.
And as Uputuako, who's in the industry, who's been famous all this long, who's been dragged 1,000 times more than you could have ever experienced this past year. I want to say, I'm your brother. I'm here. If there's anything that you'd like to understand about the industry or just not understanding this fame thing sometimes, I'm one phone call away.
I know, Putam. And thank you for your love and support. Ngiyabonga kakhulu. You know, Angie, just hearing your voice means a lot to me. Seeing you means a lot, so I really appreciate. And in closing, because we just had a beautiful conversation, wow. I just wanted to say that there used to be always joke that I used to make in Satwa saying to why every time I want to have consult, Amadluzi are never happy. They are always complaining. If they are not thirsty, they are this. That's because there was a lot of wrongs done. And we are the generations to make that right. Let us leave behind a clear and clean legacy of ancestry.
Ladies and gentlemen, WABADIMO.
Thank you.
WABADIMO and second come.
You'll know. I'll tell you, not now.
Thokozani bogogo, thokozani bomkhulu,
siyabonga. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Kasipedile ka Sotho ba re leboga go menagane. Siyabonga kakhulu mntanisekhaya ne. Mabahambe nawo bakuphathe kahle. Siyakuthanda.
Thank you.
And you are such a gift to our community.
Thank you, mkhulu.
You mean we already see what you're going to become kusese manje.
Thank you.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys on the next video.